Hi friends, this is episode 5 of the home buying journey. Buyers want to know, how much money will I need to bring to closing? In the state of Georgia, we close at a real estate attorney's office. The reason we do that is because the attorney will make sure that all of the appropriate documentation is signed, distributed, filed, recorded. Everything is done accurately and legally. At the closing, the seller would convey the property with a clear title to the buyer. At the end of the closing, the buyer will be the new owner. There are 3 major components of the funds needed to close. The first one is the down payment. Depending on your loan type, depending on how much you can afford and want to afford, the down payment could be anywhere from 3% on up. That's 3% of the purchase price. There are a couple of loan programs that allow for 100% financing, meaning that the buyer would not have to make any down payment. The second part are the closing costs. Those are lender's fees, attorney's fees, a couple of taxes, and also you'll be paying the 1 year's worth of the homeowner's insurance. The third component are the prepaids, and that is what funds your escrow account that's held by the mortgage company. When you make your monthly payment, there's a portion of that payment that goes into your escrow account every month. And when your property taxes are due, that's normally October, November timeframe. And when your homeowner's insurance premium is due again, which would be a year after the closing, then the mortgage company will pay those out of your escrow account on your behalf. You remember we talked about earnest money that's paid by the buyer at the beginning of the contract process. That amount will be deducted from the total of the cost that I just mentioned. So when we are getting ready to close, we will have a date and time set to meet the sellers at the attorney's office, and you will be asked to wire your funds to close to the attorney's office the day before so that everything is prepared ahead of time. 3 days prior to that, 3 days prior to the closing, at least 3 days prior to the closing, you will receive a final closing disclosure from your lender that shows exactly what the funds are that you need to bring to the closing or send for the closing. When you are going through your pre-approval process, you can ask the lender to provide an estimated fee sheet, and that will outline all of the costs that we just talked about. So at that point, it will be an estimate. There are some factors that could change some of the numbers just slightly here and there, but that still should be a fairly accurate view of what to expect. A word of advice, if you are shopping lenders, is to not only compare the interest rates, and when you compare interest rates from lender to lender, it does need to be on the same day. And the other thing to look at are the closing costs as well. What are their fees that they charge for each step of their process? Hope this has been helpful. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.